Hey everybody, this is only Entrepreneurship with Colonel Sanjay Pande and
Hi,
Shubhankar. This is episode number, actually, we don't know what episode number it is. We have lost count. We've been recording for a very long time.
just put it on the thumbnail.
Yeah, we'll do that. Uh, but basically, we have finished our first series of episodes that we wanted to shoot, which was about thinking, which is the core skill for any entrepreneur. Over the next few episodes, maybe 5 to 6 episodes, we will be talking about mindset, which is different from thinking. You want to be an entrepreneur, you don't have any skills, real skills yet. The only thing you can bring to the table is the correct mindset. Now, what all things comprise of mindset is what we will be talking about in this video and the next couple of videos. So, in this video, we're going to be talking about the most important facet when it comes to mindset, which is having a growth mindset. Now, I'll just quickly explain for someone who may not have heard of this term before. A growth mindset simply means that you believe that you can change as a person, that you are not a fixed personality. There are so many people that we know in our lives that simply accept status quo. They say, I am what I am, I can't really change. They accept their flaws, but they're not ready to change because it causes a lot of emotional and mental turmoil. It's very hard to change. But the point is that if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to evolve constantly. Entrepreneurship, as I have found out working with Colonel Pande, is the most brutal form of self discovery. If you don't have a growth mindset, you will end up feeling like on a daily basis and you will give up sooner or later. In my case, I was lucky enough to have a mentor tell me of and criticize me at the correct junctures so that I could improve myself, even though it hurt me, my self esteem quite a bit. But even now, I think that it's better that someone told me, someone who wanted me to improve, rather than the market tell me, rather than my boss in a corporate firm tell me and then sack me for non-performance.
The problem actually, Shubhankar, is that 99% of years are designed only to hear praise.
Yeah,
99%. Just about 1% years are actually designed to hear criticism.
that's true.
And the biggest obstacle to learning of growth mindset are these 2 years. When he talks about a growth mindset, I'll give you a very short brief. I left in 2000, I left army in 2006. When in civil, people carrying mobiles, yeah, it was quite, though not as intense as it is today, but yes, you did see that every 10 people who were walking on the road, maybe 3, 4, 5 had a mobile. So our first mobile was bought in 2006, a Nokia 1100, which people used to joke even later that the second best use of that mobile was a missile. You could throw it and kill a man, use it like a stone. And I still remember the fights that we used to have between me, my wife, and my two children as to who will hold the mobile when we go to the market. And then I always felt that fine, here I am the head of the family, but it doesn't mean that I don't have desires. Even I want to hold. It's a fact. My children will vouch for it. So that's one. Today is 2021. You ask Shubhankar, the way I get after him, I want to learn podcast, I want to learn YouTube, I want to learn video, I want to learn Twitter, I want to learn SEO, I want to learn, you name a thing, and I am always after him. These are your gen things. I want to learn. So I have never resisted growth because I know only survival is growth.
Absolutely.
To have that growth mindset, there is only one thing I can't afford to have: ego.
Yeah.
Or the year which do not hear praise. And there are times when if there is some outsider who hears the language that he uses for me, you will start wondering outside, why is this old man not taking offense to it? But then what you would not know is the type of intense thing that we have with each other for learning. I want to learn everything at 61 years of age that his generation knows. So there are times when I wake up in the night. What does FWB mean? And then he explains to me what it means. It is his generation thing.
Actually, I have no idea what FWB means.
And you told me, friends with benefits.
If we are going to edit this part out.
Yeah, no, we will not. Why? Because I just want, the point is that growth mindset is all about trying to find out what else, and not be scared of criticism.
Yeah.
Wherever, whatever platform it is. There are times when on Twitter I put a tweet that why is it that it always happens with me that when I dip my Parle-G in my tea, nothing comes out because it has dropped inside. So how do I eat it? So it's very embarrassing. Or every time I eat something, that young boy who comes to my house, he says कि अंकल आज आपने खाना खाया पर आपको दाग नहीं लगा. So I'm supposed to be taking offense. I don't. This is what is growth mindset. Always open to criticism, always open to suggestion, always open to improvement. And probably this is what I have tried to give it to Shubhankar, who actually came in with such a closed mindset that one small, and he would have such a swollen face. I didn't have a choice, but then I would say, okay, fine, office is office, home is home. Come over in the evening and we'll have drink. And then we would have a drink together. And then I would try to tell him that is office. That's the place where you're learning. This is home. Interact with me. That's entirely a different thing that he ended up drinking more liquor than anyone else.
No, actually, a sign of progress for me was that over time I stopped drinking liquor. The frequency of our drinking sessions reduced, so I knew that I was improving.
Yeah. I know.
But to my point that I was trying to make, growth mindset at a particular level is what Sir was talking about, learning new skills. That's a very good thing. But for a young professional, for someone who is in a position like my position, or someone even younger than me, the only advice I would give them is what Sir said. Firstly, kill your ego. You have to earn the right to have an ego. Let's put it that way. You have to have capabilities first before you start having an ego and before you start tuning out certain people. If you're starting afresh, you have to trust that you don't know anything, and that if you have found a mentor or someone who's in a better position to guide you, that you have to listen to them. You have to take their criticism constructively, even though it hurts. It hurts hell of a lot. I have probably spent 3 close to 3 very miserable years. With you.
Absolutely.
And I say this to Sir's face that I have felt like for most of the 3 years that I've
Which
been
actually
here,
is my success.
yeah, you feel a sadistic pleasure in that, I know. But it's been extremely tough. And the only thing that I told myself was that simply get through this day to the next. Simply take it one day at a time. You're simply here to learn. At the end of these 3 years, if it turns out that you weren't cut out to become an entrepreneur, then fine. At least I tried. At least I did something that most people don't even have the courage to do. That was what I told myself every day. And at the end of it, as luck would have it, I did improve. I did learn all of those things on which he would bash me, on which he would scold me. That's not to say that I have become perfect today. Even today morning, we were discussing something. I thought about something the wrong way. I executed some project the wrong way, and for the next half hour, I had a complete dressing down from Colonel Pande. So that happened today morning. But the point is not that you become perfect. The point is that you set yourself on a journey of self improvement, and that continues for the rest of your life.
See, there is something called role play. There is something called role play. When you're mentoring someone, if I'm mentoring someone or he's getting mentored, there is a role play. It's a drama.
Yeah.
You have to understand it's a drama. It's not me as a person, it is me as a teacher. You have seen a pot maker. When he makes, he has got a wooden hammer, a mallet, with which he hammers that absolute fresh soil when he is making that pot. He hammers that. Does that hammering mean that he is hurting it? No, he is making it better. So, this learning process on the job, when you are risking lives of people whose livelihood, whose families are dependent on you, the risk is extremely high. You are playing with lives. So, mentoring correctly becomes even more strict. You cannot afford. I do not look at his decisions. You ask him if I've ever questioned his decision. No, I always get after him. What in your mind, what is that one thought which made you take this decision? I am not interested in this decision as such. I am interested in that thought in your mind. How is it that you can have this negative thought? If I am able to spot that negative point from where it emerges, and if I repair that, I am sure that he will never take a wrong decision. And this journey of learning, this journey of mentoring is not easy. It's very difficult. And when we talk in terms of his having had a difficult time, it's all about learning. But then for a mentor to actually be very tough to teach someone, the credit has to go to the person who is learning to bear this entire brunt and still have a charming face, still have a smiling face, and still get up every day morning with even more josh to come back and learn. So that is the place where I have seen youth, I have seen people like Shubhankar and numerous of them who have given up and gone, who have not given up and carried on, and they have always tried to learn. This particular video is about the growth mindset. Growth mindset basically, most of the people are convinced that they have reached their peak. A boy who's done class 12, he thinks he has reached his peak. Someone who's done graduation, he has reached his peak. Someone who thinks he has done MBA, he has reached his peak. Someone who has gone to IIM, he has reached his peak. My point is, there is nothing called peak.
Yeah.
There is nothing called peak. Peak is where you aim to go next. So you build it up.
You should aim to peak on your deathbed, because you can't really go further than that.
Then you can't really go further. Absolutely right. That's the day everything comes to an end.
Yeah.
So what is peak? As soon as you have reached someone, if you do not draw another peak and try to climb it, will you ever think about growth? So growth is that dynamic state of your mind that you must always every day challenge. What else? Whether it is the additional skill set that I must learn, there is something new I must learn, there is something new I must do, and all these things are not degrees.
Yeah.
All these things are not formal education.
So on growth mindset, I recently read a very nice book called Principles by Ray Dalio. It's a very famous book on business, on entrepreneurship, on life, really. One of the things that he lays out at the start of the book is that you just look at nature. Nature always keeps on evolving. The plants always keep on evolving. Whenever a cell multiplies, it never multiplies the exact same way. And it is because of these permutations and combinations that keep on happening that nature never dies out. Species will always and always propagate. It will always find ways to get around obstacles. And that is why nature never dies. Now then he extrapolates that example to us as people, as even as organizations, governments. If you are not constantly evolving, you are on a downward spiral. You will eventually die out. So it's very simple. Whether it's in life, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you have your startup, or you're talking about an organization, or you're talking about an individual person, you either evolve or you die. It's as simple as that.
You have to decide one thing. Do you want to walk on a beaten path, or do you want to make your own way in a jungle? It is as late as an hour back when we both were having a discussion, and on a particular topic, he said, "This is my way forward." I said, "I respect your way forward. Listen me out, hear me out. Why are you walking on a beaten path? What has stopped you evolving your own way, walking? If you fall, you fall, but at least it belongs to you." Not even an hour back, we were having a discussion where I said, "No, stop walking on beaten path." When he talks about nature and human beings, and when I talk about human beings and two of them, why is it that you always want to emulate someone? Why do you want to have a hero? Why do you want to have a leader who you emulate? Can't you be the leader? In nature, there may be a million, a billion oak trees. Get me two trees which are absolutely identical. A billion eucalyptus trees, get me two trees which are identical. But we are 8 billion human beings, and out of that, you are one, and you want to imitate someone and be like someone. I hear it very often. No, when I grow up, I want to be like him. I did not want to be like anyone else. I did this for last 40 years. I will not be anyone else. I will be what I am. And that is how my growth mindset every day, whether it was in army or later. No, it is me who is going to be in the forefront, in the lead, number one. And this is my growth. My growth is learning. He is my teacher. A youngster is my teacher on Twitter. I love to learn. So every time I learn, I know that I am at least better than yesterday. How many times have you thought about it that you are, yes, today you are better than yesterday? So when we don't have the desire, we kill that desire to be something better, your growth mindset finishes.
Yeah.
And this is that growth mindset which I have been after Shubhankar from the day he has come to me, say last 3 years. So every time I would see that his thinking is stagnating, I would hammer him, break that stagnation, and make him dynamic in thinking. Why can't you think this? When I can look 300 days ahead, why can't you look 300 days ahead? If I can plan 150 days ahead, why can't you plan your 150 days ahead? What stops you? And then when we start discussing, things come up. So this is about my contribution towards the growth mindset. If there is anything else, Shubhankar.
No, so I think you have summed it up quite well. Growth mindset, really, it's simply about getting up every day, challenging yourself, and not putting yourself in a box that this is it, this is who I am, and this is who I will be for the rest of my life. Just if you don't have that outlook, you're going to have a growth mindset, and that is absolutely necessary to have a growth mindset. If you want to become an entrepreneur, you absolutely cannot become an entrepreneur if you do not have a growth mindset.
I will just close this video by saying one thing. If you don't believe in yourself, why should I? Trust yourself. And thanks a lot for hearing this video out, and see you again in the next year. Bye and take care.